Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the JD Edwards Talks. Today, we're going to talk about the latest release, the Release 25, and we're going to show you a demo on single sign-on, a new functionality that has been delivered in the May update, Release 24, and we were able to already set it in motion. Test it and make it work for some other customers. So I'm happy to be here today with you. My name is Andrea Istrate. I'm a sales director in Quistor. And today here with me, I have two great people. One of them is a former colleague and an actual friend, a very close friend of the JD Edwards customer community and Quistor. It's Paolo Moroni. Thank you, Paolo, for joining us today. Ciao from Italy. And also we have my colleague Pavel. Pavel Sespiva, he is a team leader for the CNC team in Quistor, and he has developed this great single sign-on functionality that we want to show you today. I'm happy to see that over 30 people have connected so far to this webinar. We have 60 registrations, so a very, very good number. I would like to see this community being inspired, customers inspiring themselves from different parts of the world, from United States to United Kingdom to Lithuania to Italy to Belgium, Netherlands, Spain. Very, very happy to see this community growing. And if you have ideas, we are here to provide to you the speakers and the solutions on how you could resolve some challenges with JD Edwards. Before we start discussing with Paolo about the highlights of Release 25, some of these highlights you may already have heard of. They have been launched over 3 weeks ago. I do advise you to prepare questions. So don't hold back and just hear from Paolo, but also try to put on chat your questions, your concerns, or maybe something that you would like to see happening, but haven't seen it taken in consideration at this point in time on JD Edwards. So with these thoughts in mind, I would leave Paolo to take over now the presentation, and I will have a look on the chat and try to respond to the questions as we go ahead in this open discussion, I'd like to call it, not just a video webinar.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course. English, right? No Italiano.
I can do both. I can do both. No problem.
I know.
No problem. Okay, let's see if I can share my PowerPoint. Okay. Can you see my slides?
And right now, yes, Paolo.
Good. So thank you for everyone for joining this session. Thank you, Quistor, for inviting me. I'm Paolo Moroni. I work for the JD Edwards product development team. One of the tasks I have is to talk to partners, talk to clients, to user groups, to inform of the new things, the new features that are coming. So today we're going to have an update, a high-level review of Release 25. We will then go in a little bit more details on a few topics that we believe are very strategic and extremely interesting for our clients. So with no further ado, let's do a classic, right? I mean, we want to make sure that everyone knows that Oracle has extended until 2035, until at least 2035, Premier support for JD Edwards, And we want to guarantee a rolling 10-year window of Premier support for our clients. And, the plan is to continue also in the future with this. We also want to make sure that we share some important information about our ecosystem and our product, of course. And here is a quick snapshot to give you an idea of the status of JD Edwards product and the ecosystem. Of course, you all know we are in 9.2. continuous innovation release. We have released over 30 plus updates and on the 9.2 code line. And in the last year, we have released over 110 features. Our clients are aligned with our product strategy. They are adopting the features that we deliver. We have over 1,000 clients using the orchestrator. This is remarkable. I believe that all the clients that are in 9.2 with a recent tool release are now using the orchestrator or are doing proof of concept with orchestrator. So it's a big success, a tool that has completely changed JD AdWords, the way our users work with JD AdWords. Also, more and more clients are using JD AdWords in a hybrid mode using SaaS application or OCI. Then a couple of numbers I want to give you an idea of the ecosystem. So LearnJD, I trust everyone knows what the LearnJD is, and I'm sure you have been checking it. But in the last 12 months, we had over 150,000 visits in LearnJD. Visit means someone who consumes content on LearnJD. That's a lot. And also we have started a podcast and it's called JD Connection. And I will give you more info on this later on. And we had over 3,500 downloads of this podcast. Another trivia that we share is, we have put together all the revenue of all our clients, and it gives us more than 4.2 trillion US dollar, the equivalent of the GDP of Japan. So not something very remarkable. And of course, we have clients going live, they keep going live, upgrading. We have over 400 success stories. In the last few years, we have identified 3 areas where we are focusing our investment. The areas are digital platform, application, and system administration. Digital platform is very important. It's pervasive, add values also in application and in system administration, and it's used to do process automation, low code, no code, tools available so you can do personalization, and also it's used for enterprise integration, and we will see that is becoming more and more important. And then we have the other 2 areas are applications. As I said, our goal is to use the digital platform to simplify the user experience and to automate business processes. So the way our clients have been using the product has dramatically changed in the last couple of years. And then we keep adding new features, new functionality, and we will have a look at what we have done for Release 25 based on our client priorities. Then system administration, it's also extremely important. Technical people, we want to make their life easier, and we want to make sure it's cheaper and simpler to apply new ESU, new feature. We have, for instance, now you can do an upgrade using the web client, or you can automate the deployment of an ESU using the automation and so this frees time for the CNC to do research in new technologies, and we'll see what they are. Release 25 has been available now for a little bit more than 3 weeks. It was toward the end of October that we have announced it. It's an upgrade, so it has all the objects that have been released until October on the 9.2 code line, and there are a few new several features, and we'll see what they are. And also, like as usual, we are planning to add a new feature during the 2025. We're going to have 2-3 drops with additional features in the next future. So in the application area, we have done some activity. We have a new feature for simplify the user experience. For instance, we have announcement in the license plate workbench. In real estate, we have now the ability to edit tax information in manual billing. We have done a lot of work in the automate business process. We will see that. I have a few slides on that because we feel that in release 25, this is becoming really effective, really powerful. So we'll talk about what are the process models, what are the process model template. And then we have been adding new features like the two-way voucher match automation. We have increased the scenarios where you can do voucher match, automated voucher match, and also, of course, environmental reporting. And we'll talk about the new sustainability framework solution that is been we have started to release the foundation and scope 1 stationary emission in release 25. Digital platform, again, very important here. We keep investing here. Enterprise process automation, we have a very powerful tool that is available, is the Enterprise Process Modeler, and we will have a look at it. Obviously, we keep adding features in the orchestrator and making it powerful. The Orchestrator Studio, if you go there now, you can see many different tools, many different things, and we keep adding new functionality there. And also, as I said, enterprise integration is very important, and we have added a new feature that allows you to use the orchestrators, the orchestration, and connect directly with OCI services in a safe mode. And then system administration for the techie out there, for the CNC, they will find a lot of new stuff in release 25. We have done an announcement for the server manager, announcement for the update manager. There are new ways to manage UDOs, so a lot of stuff. And you can find all this information as usual on LearnJDE. We have the announcements, and for each feature, you can find, obviously, the manual, the objects. We're going to have a quick tour. For many features, you also have online training, so you can get acquainted, so learn and see if this is interesting for you. You have also the training to understand better what you can do with the feature.
Paolo,
yes.
I like this a lot. And moreover, what I hear from the customers is that they have so many customized objects that sometimes, because they may be new to the business, they don't even know who created them or if they are still using them properly. Is there any way to map the custom object versus the new functionality that's there on release 25, maybe, and backwards release 25?
Yeah, of course. Of course, yes. We hear a lot of customers that they do, upgrade, but they keep working the old way. So they keep their customization, and what our suggestion is always, to check what's there. We have, reports. We have analytics that you can use, tools that you can use to identify, if you have customization, to see if analyze and see how you can do the same thing using the new tool. Orchestration is very powerful. We have the UX1 personalization framework also is very powerful. So there are a lot of reporting that you can, do in a different way. You can personalize the way your clients do the thing without customization. The difference, personalization, if you do an upgrade, it stays there. If you do a customization, it's yours, and it's more complex to apply software. So yes, so the suggestion is always, not just do an upgrade and keep using the software as you used like 5 years ago, but to do an upgrade and make sure you leverage all the new features and get rid of as much as possible of customization. We know that there are strategic customization, maybe in manufacturing, that it's very difficult to not use. That's okay, but they give you added value. But there are a lot of customization that can be today, can be changed with something that is standard, and we see a lot of clients doing that. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. No, it was. We know that we do this, so I know Pavel also is trying to retrofit as less as possible and try to move into standard. But this is like an option, or let's say a model that our customers also need to hear coherently from Oracle as well, and to make sure that you have good advisors to make sure that you don't fail. You don't fail if you take on what's new, the new functionality. And one more question, because if I stopped you, I need to ask it. Is this all free when release 25 is installed? And I'm assuming that Thierry was referring to the previous slides when you were showing the highlights of the functionality. So yes, all is free. I can answer for it. So all is free. Once you are on release 25, you have the ability to tap into that functionality, Thierry, as standard.
Yeah, well, it depends on obviously if the feature is included in the licensing, of course, that you have. But like for Orchestrator, if you have the tools licensing, yeah, everything is free and is available. Of course, in real estate, if you don't have licenses for real estate, obviously you won't be able to use that. Is that the question?
Yes. So,
okay, good. Yeah. Okay, yes. So that's the answer. Okay.
When it comes to watch lists, one more thing. When it comes to watch lists, are they under subscription? Are they under certain license? I know that you need to have OneView reporting, right?
Well, that is that's a bit of a complex answer that I have to do. So it depends, of course. If you use WatchList out of the box as they are, and you have there is a limited licensing, so you can use as they are. If you need to change the watch list or you want to create new watch lists, then you need to do some research. But we have all the documentation, that we have Q&A and things like that. You can work with the partner, you can work with the sales team in Oracle and check what is covered for you, and what if you need if you need some extra or additional licensing. But if in general, if you use what we have out of the box, the watch list that are in standard, these are covered in your tools licensing. Correct.
Yeah. Only if you change them, that those would need to have.
I always recommend, just to be on the safe side, to work with the sales. Oracle sales team. So, just to make sure that you're covered, and we have Q&A documents that you can find on JD, where you have all the information. There are manual on licensing. But, I think that the best approach is, if you want to do something, just check with the sales team and make sure that, you are on the better safe than sorry, and you are covered with what you want to do. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, do we have other questions? Sorry.
Yes, we do. One more. What is the new 9.2.9 stability? Do you recommend installing it now? Of course, we already did it for customers, but I'll let Paolo answer as well.
Yeah.
So this is asking this.
Yeah. We have clients that are already implementing it. So, yeah, we are pretty safe in saying that, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, and also there is what we intend to do is evaluate what is the best release option the customers can go to, and in some areas, because of their technology infrastructure, we may decide to go to 9.2.8.x in tools and applications release 24, or it all depends on where we see this as the next step, best step forward in terms of the overall environment. So that is another question that was raised here on the chat, but it is specific to a certain customer of ours. So we will discuss this in our one-to-one with Pavel. I think that later on this week.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's move on. I think I have some allotted time, so I mean let's move on. So I have so let's focus on three areas that are new in release 25, not new, but that are that had a lot of improvement in release 25 and in the future. So three areas are sustainability framework or environmental reporting, whatever you want to call it. Then we have enterprise automation, and then AI enablement. AI is a topic that is a lot of interest, and so we will give you input on that also. So regarding the environmental reporting, we have added sustainability framework. It's a new module in JD Edwards. It's a request from our clients because it is, in some area, in some country, in some industries, it is already required to do environmental reporting. We know that in Europe there is a directive that has been approved. It's been implemented by the member countries. So depending on the country, the status could be different. So I know that in some country like Italy, it has been implemented. In other countries like Spain, they are still working on it. So we know it's coming, and it will increase the number of of companies that will have to do environmental reporting. We had a couple of challenges in designing this solution. First, you need to qualify the transactions that are related to environmental reporting in JD Edwards. You need to qualify them, add information. For instance, if if you're using an item for production, if you're using it for transportation, it's different. So you need to do a lot of qualifying to do the reporting. The other thing is that not all the data for environmental reporting are available in JD Edwards. So they are stored in typically stored outside an ERP, not just JD Edwards. So these are the two things. So we thought a solution where we have a part where you do the setup, okay? So you identify all the additional parameters that you need for an item, and then when you do the transaction, for instance, you enter a voucher for an item that is relevant for environmental reporting, the system automatically add all the information that are needed. Then, as I said, if you have data that are outside JD Edwards, you can do an upload of the data in JD Edwards using an orchestrator, so you automate that, and then you post all the data in the sustainability activity ledger. This becomes the single point of truth for environmental reporting, and this is very important. When you have an audit, you can show them, the information, where they come from. So it's a very important aspect of this solution. Then you can, export this data to a specific solution for calculation and environmental reporting. Of course, we are Oracle, so we talk about EPM Cloud. EPM Cloud has a module for ESG, and is for environmental reporting in particular. You have, you can cover different standards, because that's the other issue. There is not a world standard for environmental reporting. It depends on the industry. Like the European Union, they have their own standards. So in EPM Cloud, Oracle, you will be able to do that. Enterprise automation. So process automation, if you have been using Orchestrator, if you have been attending our presentation, you should be pretty familiar with what process automation. Now, we took this concept further, and we are talking now about enterprise automation. And what is it, enterprise automation? It is more complex, so you can automate processes that are more complex, that span over multiple area of your business. This means span over multiple JD Edwards modules, for instance. So you can automate more complex. And then the other very important thing is that you can collect data and analyze data on this process that you have, enterprise process that you have automated, and you can improve these processes. So let's have a look how it is, what this means. So first of all, you need data. They say data is the digital gold. So you have a history of data in JD Edwards. You have data in transaction tables, in audit tables, in workflow, because we have a feature in release 24. We have added features that allows you to track the data in a workflow, and you can use this data, to evaluate those processes. But you need also a process model. And for instance, active in JD Edwards, activity rules drive the process. So you can, from the activity rules, you can create a process model. And here in this picture, you can see all the possible steps that a sales order processing process can have, right? So these are all the possible ones. And then you have what happens. So in the ledger activity rules, you have what actually happened for that particular run of the process. Okay, so you can use and check, if your model is working fine with metrics, right? So you can add in your process models, you add your metrics, and then you can see where in some steps, what are the things that are not working, where you have problem. And then, you solve the issue and what you can do to solve the issue. For instance, you need better training for the user, or you need more automation, orchestration, or workflow, or whatever. And you may use a simpler user interface, maybe with mobile apps, or, change the contract with your supplier. Who knows? But, using the low-code, no-code tool of the orchestrator, you can implement these changes rapidly and in a simple way. And then, of course, you implement the changes and then you measure them and see how things have improved. And maybe you discover that there are other things that you can do to improve. It's a continuous process of improvement. In Release 25, as I said, there are a lot of features that have been already are available for enterprise automation in Release 24. Very important one. But in Release 25, we have released pre-built process models that are more complex. Now they include also procure to pay integrated with warehouse process, and order to cash integrated with warehouse process. But very important is the process modeler. Okay, enterprise process modeler. So we want you to be able to create a process model based on your needs and based on your real life situation, right? And so not only, you can use the pre-built process model that we have and modify them, but with this tool, you can create them. We have a few templates that you can use to start this activity, and then you can add metrics based on KPIs or whatever the metrics that you want to use, and then you can run and do what I show you, the different steps, with your specific process models. So this is something that is really, really important, and there are demos available, there are videos. Please go and check, because I think that this is something that you want to consider for the next activities. So I talked about digital platform, okay? But if some of you may remember what was the digital platform at the beginning, it was the orchestrator, and it was called IoT orchestrator. And the only thing that the orchestrator used to do was to upload data from IoT devices. Then, with our continuous exchange with customers and partners, we have enhanced the orchestrator to do a lot of other things. So we do process automation, we do integration, we do extensibility, mobile apps, system administration automation, and now we're talking about enterprise automation. So a very complex activity for automate complex process and collect information about them. But we know that our digital platform will support our clients also for the next wave of technology. And when we talk about next wave, we talk about AI, right? So our strategy is to make sure our clients can leverage the Oracle investments in intelligent capabilities, right? So through the digital platform, either if they want to use the OCI AI services, if they want to use the AI that is embedded on the SaaS application, on the Oracle database, and the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So your data, the digital platform, and the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure AI stack can, can support you in your analysis and in your adoption of AI in JD Edwards processes. Okay, this is the offering of Oracle in AI. Is very complete. I just wanna three things that I want to highlight. The first one is OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So the AI stack is on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure allows you, gives you the capability to scale up when you need to run an AI workload, because these can be very demanding, and you can use and you can scale up, and you have the power to do that, the compute power to do this kind of analysis. The other thing is machine learning models, right? So another stack of the so another layer of the AI stack is the machine learning, predictive or generative machine learning models. And these, are for companies that they want to train from scratch this model. Of course, this is demanding because you need to have data scientists. You need to be prepared to do this. So it's not for all the customers, I believe. Not all the customers are prepared or want to do that or are interested in doing that. So then another layer on top of it is AI services. AI services are pre-trained models or predictive algorithm that are pre-trained to do a specific task. And in this case, what the customer needs to do with the help of the partners, or the partners need to do, is to fine-tune these services with the customer data. So I've been talking about predictive AI, generative AI, but let's see what this means in a JD Edwards, for a JD Edwards clients in a JD Edwards context, okay? So the predictive AI, these are algorithms that learn from data, right? So you need to train this algorithm with your data so they can make prediction or take decisions. The better the data you give them, the more data you give them, the better the quality, they will learn and improve their capabilities. Generative AI, it uses technique like LLMs, large language models that can, analyze enormous quantities of information, and then they can create new content or data. So what are the capabilities in a context? So in JD Edwards context, what are those that make more sense? For instance, in analytics, so for predictive AI to analyze data, and then another one is document understanding. For generative AI is natural language processing, the ability of interacting with a user in their natural language, and the possibility to create content based, for instance, on a question from a user based on the data available, for instance, in JD Edwards. So examples of use cases that you could do for JD Edwards, relevant in JD Edwards, for instance, it's forecast analysis or extract information from a physical receipt. For instance, an expense receipt, an employee could use this to do their expense report. Examples of generative AI is like text summarization or create text prompts in Oracle Digital Assistant in a chatbot. So the user can talk to JD Edwards, and the generative AI can generate new information.
Just to add to that, Paolo, our team in Quistor is investing in a special team that is focused purely on driving POCs for AI services on JD Edwards. So we want to spend the next month and then show off to our customers a catalog of AI services. We have started that already with a few of them, and I'm happy to see if there are more customers to give us homework that our team can work on. So we have a BI team together with our JD Edwards functional team to make all the setups and make it work.
Okay, that's very good news, and I'm really excited and happy to hear that. So please, let's stay in contact, because obviously we are doing as a JD Edwards team, we are also doing our proof of concept. We presented a couple in Focus. So we really want to make sure that we understand and we know what our partners are doing. That's very, very interesting. Good news. So the other thing I just talked about is, the fact that in June, in tools 9.2.8.2, we have released this possibility. So it's an authentication for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Services. So basically, you can now run an orchestrator and work with an OCI service, including obviously AI services in a safe mode. So you can see that, for instance, we were talking about document recognition. You could have an orchestration to call a document recognition AI service on OCI, and then you can take the information from a physical receipt, and they can extract the text and then send it back in an automated way with an orchestration and post it in JD Edwards. So this is one of the use cases that we have been showing both in Apps Unlimited Days and in Focus. Couple of clients. There are clients that are already working and with AI. So, for instance, Martin Marietta, they did a session at InFocus. InFocus is a big event. There were over 900 clients in October, and they are using, LLM, generative AI chatbot for salespeople to work with CRM. I don't have a lot of time to go in details, but you can review this information. You can find, like, in Quest webpage, they have posted this information. And also 4MeterBox is using AI in manufacturing, and so it's quite interesting, the use case. They are doing a pilot, still not live, of course, but when I was in Madrid for Apps Unlimited Day, there were 2 or 3 clients that were doing pilot. Some of them were already using AI with JD Edwards. So it's a reality. It's there, and we want to make sure that we enable our clients, JD Edwards clients, to be able to leverage that. So Learn JD release 25. As I said, you can find the list and all the information. Blueprint 4D in June next year in Las Vegas. That's so we talked about InFocus. This Blueprint 4D is the other main event for JD Edwards clients. It's also for application. So if you are interested in seeing also what the other applications are doing, like ERP Cloud or whatever, there are sessions there also for that. And we talked about the podcast, and we have episode 38 that is now online, and you can download it. It talks about, guess what, release 25 highlights. So I believe it's a perfect companion with this session. And I'm finished. And stay connected. We are on we are on social and things like that. So with this, I think I will.
Grazie, Paolo. Grazie mille.
I hope I didn't take too much time. So
no, it's perfectly fine.
Pavel is on.
Yes, Pavel is on. But before we take this to Pavel, thank you very much, first of all, Pavel, for responding to the questions, technical questions live. I see a lot of interaction on chat, which is always welcome. There is another question from Ronald. Can we use OCI APIs for free? Where can we find a list of the available functions?
APIs. Okay, OCI APIs. Well, of course, yes, there is a list of all there are hundreds of APIs. I can share with you, Andrea, and then you can share with your clients where they can find this. It's for free, obviously not. Not it is for free. I mean, you have to pay the AI or the OCI service.
Yes, all of that.
Obviously, they charge for that. Okay.
Great. So let's play a little, right, Pavel? Let's have some fun.
Yes, of course. Before we start, and I will explain later, I need to check that I have my mobile with me. And in general, my focus is on a single sign-on. I'm sure that everyone can understand what single sign-on benefits are, that it can enhance your security because of centralized authentication. Everything is, passwords are stored in one single location. It, of course, increases the user convenience because users just use one username and one password. It's simplify also the administration of users because it's all stored on one place, and altogether it might reduce the IT cost. So those are just few benefits, and I'm sure that we can find more.
Just to mention, so as we said at the beginning, so this single sign-on option in JD Edwards was released in May this year. And throughout the months of June, we have investigated, Pavel's team investigated its potential, and we started the drill out around implementing on our test environment, testing it, and we have been able also to propose this to our customers. So this is not a story, this is real thing happening, and Pavel will show you in a minute this.
Actually, I would get to that within my next slide, which a little bit explaining beside the benefits, what are the possibilities or what we at Quistor can help you with. Because there are, with JD Edwards, there are kind of three options. One is not full single sign-on, but it already can help you with integrating JD Edwards towards your Active Directory via LDAP. So that means you can start using your enterprise IDs and passwords, but it will not bring the full single sign-on experience. Then we have, and that's the reason why we are here, starting release 24, exactly as Andrea mentioned, May this year. It was introduced the possibility of single sign-on. I'm calling it native solution because it's provided by Oracle using the Oracle Identity Cloud Service against the Entra ID, so Active Directory in Azure, or in case that the customer or you are not yet on release 24, we also have options for you via our partner, which also bring the single sign-on. But we are here for introducing the changes in release 25 and release 24. So this is really release 24. So let's focus on this enhancement. Here it's a little bit boring diagram. I will not go through, but if you like, I can explain in extra session. In general, the single sign-on, which was introduced in release 24, require Oracle Identity Cloud Service. So it's a part of Oracle Cloud, but then it works seamlessly and authenticate the users against the Entra ID with this diagram. But I think there is a lot about the boring stuff, and I would go to some small presentation.
And show us,
maybe reply some questions. how log into separate roles. I'm not sure I understand well this question.
I think Vladis may look at how is single sign-on role dependent. But that I think you'll cover.
I will get to it. But the short answer is because the roles and security is always application related. This needs to be still maintained in JD Adverts, and I will get to it. Let me share my screen.
Yes, we see it now.
In general, just to provide you some experience, the thing is, I am now using Edge, which because I am being authenticated against the Active Directory Azure ID. I also have my work account, so Enterprise ID. I am signed in, so that means that in case I just go to link where the JD Adverts is present, I can get the environment and role selections, but this is of course optional. It depends on the technical setup. I know that some customers build their access on roles which are not part of star all. So this is showing the possibility that even with the single sign-on, you will not miss the feature of signing with the specific role. But if I now click OK, I will be bring towards the JD Adverts. But in case that I am not working on my personal laptop where I am signed with to the Edge with my Enterprise ID. So for this demonstration, let's use Google. If I go to the same URL, you will see maybe you will see that I'm being asked to sign in. And this is these days standard sign-in dialog whenever you want to use some web resource, and this is where I need my phone. So it's also multi-factor authentication 39. Let me be sure that I type the correct number. And again, you see I'm being because it's set up in JustSign to role selections that can be, of course, omitted. I am bring directly to JD Adverts. So either you if you are using browser where you are connected with Enterprise ID. So in my case, my company email, I can get directly to the JD Adverts. Or if I am not, then I am going through the standard authentication dialog. But before I get a little bit to the security, what I wanted to mention, what I exactly like on the single sign-on provided by Oracle via the Oracle Identity Cloud Service, is that it has a wide use. It can be used for assigning to JD Adverts web interface, but it can be also used, for example, if you have a reports now, DAS, then the same authentication or very similar authentication mechanism can be used. Or in general, what we just, I think last week, as a proof of concept that Quistor did, is in case that you are using Oracle Analytics Server, which is used for OVR or can be used as a standalone for some JD Adverts report. With the same single sign-on mechanism, as you can see, I just click my shortcut. I've been automatically signed also with my username. So this is really showing the great user experience that everything, almost everything within the ecosystem of JD Adverts and Oracle services can be now very easily, accessed by just single username and password. according back to the questions and a little bit to the security. As I said, at this moment, the security setup, you have row security, application security, and all other one. It is really application related, so you really can't have this setup in Active Directory or in your identity provider. It still needs to be done in JD AdWords, and for particular this single sign-on, it uses the user long IDs, where you see the mapping between my enterprise ID and my JD AdWords user ID. So now if I do any transaction in JD AdWords, it in the table audit information, it will be visible that this user ID, Pizza Spiva, did the change, which is also an advantage because you can decide that several users, it's usually the administrators or developers, will not use the single sign-on. Mm-hmm. And the single sign-on is in general available for the web product. So in case that developers or sysadmins, CNCs using still the Fed clients, they need to use also the JD AdWords password. So within the single sign-on, you can also choose that several users can sign in just with a JD AdWords password. And I hope that I remember mine, so I don't. So let me quickly reset my password.
So that means is, as a best practice, the developers should have both options triggered into the system access, whether the large amount of users, 100, 200 users of JD AdWords, should only rely on a single sign-on and do not be, let's say, impacted by any password change request because they won't show up. It won't be
exactly. It's really this option to have a password generated within JD AdWords and use just pure JD AdWords login mechanism should be really dedicated only to the system administrators or developers, which is, I would say, maybe less than 1% of users.
Correct.
And it's still there. It can be also answered to the questions when really something horrible happened and Oracle Cloud or Microsoft Entra in Azure is not available or accessible because of disaster or connections or whatsoever. Then there is still a fallback mechanism to use the JD AdWords authentication.
Yeah, but they are on high availability domains. I mean,
exactly. It's really unlike a reason. And now, sorry for the joke. If aliens will attack us, then it might happen. But that's in fact. So it's. I would say it will not happen. Never say never.
Exactly. But we are cautious about that. And while you reset your password, because we still have a few minutes left, I want to also tell our customers what it takes to have such functionality available. So from our end, we have estimated an effort of about 40 hours of our experts in cloud and CNC to map this against your JD AdWords. And when it comes to Oracle product, so it is available in JD AdWords, but from a cloud perspective, you need access to Oracle Identity Access Management. That's a tool that is licensed per user and access to a tenant all over for 100 users, you could look at a cost of about $270 per month. So that's the cost that we estimate of what you're going to pay to Oracle for Oracle Identity Access Management, plus all the other Oracle Cloud tools that you need to access being a new OCI customer. So you may be sitting on Azure and you just need a small piece of OCI, a small tenant access. So that's the overall effort, but we are ready to investigate with customers that are already on release 24 or ready to do an upgrade. Yes, Pavel, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just read. I believe I've responded
Yes.
the questions from Rak about how it is with the development clients. So they use the JD Edwards one. Then
Olga has a couple of questions though.
Yes, then I see Olga, which SSO approach. Yes, I would recommend the native one ID through IDCS to Entra ID. Because it's a universal approach, and you have just your one identity provider, which is Entra ID.
But what if you have users in a single country and then users accessing multiple countries? I assume that's an application responsibility, right? It has.
That's questions. I believe that if you have multiple Active Directories per country, then that's something what's lying on Oracle Cloud. And I do not want to say something what's not completely true, but in general, you can connect to multiple Active Directory. But I think it's better to check and come back to Olga to be, 100% clear with the answer.
Sure. Paolo, how do you see it? I think it's the first time you've seen the demo, right?
Yeah, very good. No, I that's very good, very interesting. Yeah, that's good. A good thing. Thank you, Pavel, for showing us. Before we close, I just wanted to add something about the watch list, right? And there is a Q&A document, and there's also the licensing manual. And so I will share the links to these two documents that you can use as a reference. So you will have more detailed information about licensing on watchlist there. But again, before always check with the sales team, the Oracle sales team, to check, make sure that you are covered with licensing. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So in the PDF, I will add links to those two documents.
Yes, okay. And we'll send it over to everyone who attended the call. Just to let you know, guys. So we've been talking about the upgrade. The next JD Edwards talks, I want to make it about best practices on testing, because everyone is asking, what should we consider while testing? What we were thinking is, how do we embed the testing into automations driven through orchestrations? And I will coordinate an exercise with Oracle and our orchestration experts to be able to show you some best practices that you may consider for testing while upgrading. So let's meet on December 16th. At 3 p.m. And that will be our last JD Edwards talk for the year. So if you remember, Paolo, we started with you in January. That was the first edition. We spoke about release 24. Now release 25, edition number 9. It's growing interest. I'm very happy to see such activity on the chat, and I'm sure that those conversations will continue. If you have topics that you'd like to share with Paul Houtkooper in his podcast, why not? We are here to support you and to work your story way through USA, because we are so close. So we are closer to Oracle than ever before.
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Have a nice evening.
Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.